Hey, good evening and welcome everybody to the Honor Elite Podcast Show with your boy Sarge. It's Sunday, man. It's Mother's Day. And I'm just saying for all the guys, I know I feel your pain. We're all broke, man, but at least those ladies had a good time. I hope so anyway. But let everybody know we're on. Share it with a friend. Kane Foel, let's go.
I was asked the other day, hey Sarge, why you never play any fast music on your podcast? It's simple. I'm petty.
Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Sliding on my road glide, looking so fly. 20-inch rollback, screaming eagle torque pack. I-10 to the end, it's a known patch. If you ain't a ground pounder, pay attention, fall back. We iron elite boys, no need for hitting switches. We split lanes and hogging lanes, we on a mission. On our way to CA, we 100 deep. Water up, y'all the road, run it up, rip it up. Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? I'm outside with it, I scrape the town burning loud when the smoke clear up. You know I hardly did it, I'm real gnarly with it. My ride clean when it bling, I show the lean on the scene to get jiggy with it. No did it, get it? I'm well equipped it. My bike side got a side, so you know I'm hit. She dropped it down and split it, backed it up to shift it. Let me kick a little game to you lames riding around here, giving a set a bad name. It don't matter what you rank or what you claim. When we turn it up, you keep it motorcycling, man. My soul brothers, they roll runners, we rolling deep. When it's time to rally up, it's Black Wall Street. When you see them MCs at the RTE, roll the world down the road, run it up, rip it up. Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig?
But Sarge, why you always gotta talk about motorcycling? Sarge, why you don't never talk about nothing else? Look here, man. If you gonna do all that crying, what the baby gonna do?
Hey, man, again, welcome to the Honor Elite Podcast Show with your boy Sarge. Hey, man, I've been waiting on this for the longest. I've been waiting. Y'all know how I get down with Snacks and all this crazy riding she be doing. I'm going to tell you now, man, as they were out. And oh, by the way, I'm going to introduce them. I know Sarge go in and I'm going to introduce them. We're going to be introducing the Nepal 4-pack. But let me tell you this, man. This is what got me. You know, of course, on the Iron Elite podcast, on the group page, on the Facebook group page, we're watching what Snacks and her sisters and brothers are doing each and every day. Man, they're riding through the mountains. They're going through villages. They're eating crazy food. They're sleeping in crazy places. They're going around livestock. They're doing all kind of stuff, man, in Nepal. But the thing that got me, man, when I saw her and her sisters at that rope bridge, and they went across that rope bridge, man, and I'm thinking to myself, nah, I don't think I'm gonna be going to Nepal. I don't think I'm gonna do it. But anyway, man, that's not what we're here for. This is not about Sarge. This is about Snacks and her sisters and this great trip that they took to Nepal to ride the mountains of Nepal, as well as, I'm gonna say, was the base of the Himalayan mountains. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get into it. So Snacks, first, introduce yourself. Well, everybody know you, but introduce yourself to everybody. Tell us a little bit about you, and then we're gonna pass it around to your sisters.
All right. Hey, everyone. It's Snacks with Too Deep WMC out of Dallas. I like to ride a little bit, mostly on the highways, but recently started the off-road, so on off-road adventure riding. I think everyone knows, if you're listening in, you probably know I already did the Panama Highway. And so this last trip was to Nepal. Different type of trip. Looking forward to talking about it. And before we even get started with introducing the other ladies on the call, I do have to say, this is all about motorcycling. So Jamie over here, who's on her phone, I met her on I-40 coming back from California.
Oh,
And
wow. Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
and we helped a couple of folks who were having heat exhaustion. She introduced me to Michelle and Rachel, who's not on, that completes the 4-pack, when I was actually headed down south in Panama. So after Roy and I split up, Jamie called Michelle and Rachel and the rest of the ladies and said, "Hey, Snacks is on her way and she needs hugs." So I
Oh,
actually met
wow.
them in Santiago, and it was like a lifesaver and gave me all the energy I needed to continue going south.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, wait a minute.
So
You didn't meet Michelle down in South America, did you?
yeah,
Holy moly.
in Chile,
Man, you guys are,
Santiago.
boy, y'all make the world so small. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead, ladies. Finish up. I'm sorry. Anybody, you want to go next, Michelle?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Michelle Lanir, and I actually was born in Sturgis, South Dakota. So I always call myself Sturgis Chick because that's where I'm from. That's where I was born. And I live in the Black Hills of South Dakota now. So the first bike I ever owned and rode was a Harley. And then I started kind of working my way backwards into smaller bikes and going off-road and getting into the dirt because I like to camp. I like to go up gravel roads and go into the forest. So the trip that Snacks did, the Pan American Highway to the bottom of South America, I did that back in 2013 through 15. I was on the road for 2 full years. And then I flew back down with Rachel and a couple of other ladies, like Snacks said, and we had the really good fortune to get to meet her in Santiago, Chile, as she was on her way down. We flew down for like a 2-week ride. And then we were all flying home. So that was like, we did it the easy way, and Snacks had earned every mile at that point when we got to meet her. So that was pretty special.
Wow. Awesome stuff. Jamie, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I live like way up in the mountains and internet's a little rough.
Okay. We see you. We got you.
Thank you. So, gosh, I've been riding for, this is kind of embarrassing, but 52 years.
Awesome.
50
Awesome. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
yeah.
Oh, awesome. Awesome stuff. Yeah.
I was obsessed as a kid. No one in my family rode, but I went for a ride when I was like 3, one of my dad's buddies, and I just started pinning up all the motorcycle pictures I could get. So, been riding for a long time. At 50, I started racing.
Wow.
That's a good idea,
Okay.
right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And yeah, so I met, let's see, I guess I met Michelle first on the WRWR, which was the women's relay around the world. I got it backwards, Michelle. What is it?
It's like
Women's?
Women Riders World Relay. So that was,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so I rode in Pakistan with Michelle, and like Cynthia said, I saw her. I was like, oh my gosh, I love that gear that woman has on. And I chased her down, and she turned around and hugged me.
Wow.
And then we were like, do we know each other?
Motorcycling brings us together, does it not?
Yep. Yep. And
But you know,
yeah,
it's some. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no,
Jamie.
I just started following everything she did closely. And yeah, I was so glad that I got to go on this trip to Nepal with her. With all
Awesome
these
stuff.
women.
The only reason I went is because Jamie asked me a few times, maybe a few more times, and I was like, okay, I'll go.
Wow, wow. Well, I want to say this, Snacks. You, as much as you and I and the wife talk, you kept this on the real low. You said nothing about this in February at all. We must have spent
I thought
hours
I
with her
told
at
you.
dinner and everything else. She didn't open her mouth, and all of a sudden she calls me about, I want to say less than a week before you get. No, you called me on like a Thursday and said, "Hey, Sarge, we getting ready to leave." I think it was like Monday or Tuesday of the next week, and I said, "What?" The first thing I said was, "What?" And I said, "Okay, I want to know everything." So, ladies, let's do this. Let's get this thing going. So, before we get going, I want to thank everybody that's on with us this evening. Breezy does it. I appreciate you for coming on with us. Reef, the great Reef, is on with us, Titan. 2025. I got D Bell. I got Sonny Bell. I got DJ D ready. We got folks that are coming on in. So come on in, folks. And when you come on in. Please don't hesitate to hit the like button. We're not going to be on Facebook the whole time. So we're going to only be on Facebook just a few more minutes. But don't fear. Hit the tab. Open up another tab on YouTube. Sarge Life and Motorcycling. And we're going to be talking to the Nepal 4-pack, man. These ladies and guys, and we'll show you a picture of it. I think it was 12 of you guys total. Am I correct?
12
This
women.
whole crew, they were the mountainous dozen. We're going to call them something. But they decided to take this crazy trip to Nepal. And for some of you who don't know where the heck Nepal is at, Google it, man, because it's way away from here, to ride these crazy mountains and trails and beautiful scenic ride. So we're going to talk to them about it. We're going to get right on into it. So I tell you what, let's take it from the top. So Snacks, you guys got together. Y'all started planning this thing. How did it go? Take me behind the scenes. How did we start to get here?
Yeah, well, actually, I wasn't a part of it from the beginning. So Michelle knew the person who was leading the ride, Tiffany Coates. She was our ride leader, and she's done rides all over the world. So she came highly recommended. So she recommended we do this ride. Jamie called me and said, "Hey, we should go to Nepal." And we've been trying to plan a trip before. I think we were talking Pakistan before. So when she called, I was like, I don't know about it. I got other things on the agenda, so not quite sure. But then she said Michelle and Rachel were going to be there, and I was like, okay, I'm in. So as you know, I think most people know I'm planning a trip around the world, and Nepal. I wasn't sure if I was going to make Nepal, but what this did for me is it helped to take a look at what the roads look like. Nice map. What the roads look like, what
Yeah.
should I, what would I or could I experience? And then having the chance to ride with, experts like I said, Michelle, Jamie, and Rachel have done stuff like this many times. It just made sense.
Wow. Wow. Hey, K Solo, man. Hey, bro. You next, K Solo. We got to see you in Nepal, man. I'm just going to say this, man. Hey, he's on with us this evening, man. The great K Solo, riding with K Solo, the podcast. Y'all check him out, man. He's always talking about motorcycle legends, and he's talking about the unsung heroes, man. So, okay, so we put this together.
Real quick, Sarge. Let
Okay.
me. I'm gonna ask Jamie to talk a little bit about how this trip came about, because this was not just a ride; it is all women ride. But there was also a partnering organization, Women Like the World. You want to talk a little bit, Jamie, about how that came about?
Sure. I think actually I'd back up to I met this guy Eric because I had a motorcycle T-shirt on at REI, and he said, "Hey, nice T-shirt," and I said, "Oh, do you ride?" And he said, "Yeah, I actually own a tour company. I inherited my dad's tour company in India. He had the first tour company there." And so we just started talking and becoming friends. And we would meet for coffee, and he asked me if I would, he just was asking me about these different women trips that I'd been on. Um, and I had just gotten back from Pakistan actually for the second time. And he and I started planning a trip um, through Nepal. And I ended up having to take care of family for a few years. My dad, um, so I never could go. But he and I contacted a woman named Mary Mahoney who runs Women Light the World, and they're an organization that goes into rural areas. I think they're working in like 4 countries right now. They're planning to expand around the globe, but they find a woman who wants to go basically become a solar engineer. They send them to school in India, and then that way they can work on installs in their village, um, and pass down the knowledge of what it takes to um, keep solar going, repaired, whatever, and hand it down to the next generation. So I really like the idea of when I hate being the kind of American that just rips through somebody else's country. And it's really important to me that if I'm going to go ride somewhere, that I give back somehow. So Eric and I, we basically started this dialogue with the woman Light the World, and she was really excited to do this trip. I kind of disappeared from the scene, and Eric had to go. He actually partnered with Orange and Black. That's who ended up hiring Tiffany Coates. And I didn't even know any of this. I was so busy with my dad. And I get a call from Rachel, and she's like, "Hey, you should come to Nepal." And she starts describing the trip. And I was like, this sounds really familiar. And then Eric called, and he was like, "Hey, you're going on our trip, but I'm not going." And so anyway, it was kind of full circle for me. And I'm working with Mary in a couple different projects right now. Actually, Michelle, I'm sending you an email tonight because she's got a guest speaker for WEMA.
Oh, awesome. I'd love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So
So
that's kind of the background from my point. You know, I didn't know anything about Tiffany. It was a super exciting trip, and it was really great to meet uh, some of the actual people over in Nepal who were working with Women Light the World.
Okay, quick question before I give it back to you, Snacks. Okay, so WEMA, is it like a, please excuse my ignorance, is it like a Peace Corps type thing you guys go over there and do?
No, WIMA, WIMA is the Women's International Motorcycle Association. Um,
Okay,
and it
okay,
was
okay,
started by an American woman in 1950. So this year is our 75th
okay,
anniversary. So
okay.
it's an association of women motorcyclists around the world.
Got you,
but it
got you.
also,
Okay.
this year you're celebrating the WRWR, which maybe you could just do a quick explanation of what the WRWR is.
Yeah, so WRWR was Women Riders World Relay, and Jamie talked about it earlier. There's a woman from the UK named Haley Bell, back in 2018, so like almost 7 years ago. She was in her mid 20s, and she had this idea. She was looking at motorcycling and thinking that a lot of gear is designed for men. And so women are trying to find, jackets that fit them and trying to do outdoorsy and motocross type stuff, but there wasn't enough gear out there. And she wanted to kind of find a way to connect women motorcyclists around the world. And she thought of this idea where she carved a wooden baton like you would like at a track meet, a relay race. And she said, what if we had a baton that we passed from one woman motorcyclist to the next? Could we carry it all the way around the world? And she started this group on Facebook, and she was posting stuff on different women's motorcycling forums. And I saw it, and I wrote her and said, I'd like to be part of this, because at that point, 7 years ago, I'd already done the trip to South America. I'd ridden in like 25 countries. So I had experience crossing international borders getting my motorcycle imported to other countries, and kind of what that looks like, what the logistics are, and how difficult it is, and kind of what the timeline needs to be. And I've traveled to just over 100 countries in the world. So I, not with motorcycle, but other ways, flying in and out. So I had a lot of experience. So anyway, I got involved with that, and we started the baton, kicked it off, the baton relay, in February of 2019. And we carried the baton for a full year through 78 countries around the world. I designed the route. And then we put it out on the internet, and we started recruiting members and women from all over. And so women were really like wildfire, spreading the word. And on our Facebook group, we had over 20,000 women, and lots of them were signing up to actually carry the baton. So eventually almost 4,000 women took turns carrying the baton for about 70,000 miles around the world through these 78 countries. And it took us a full year, but we got that baton all the way around the world. It started in England and ended in England. And that's how I met Jamie, because she volunteered to carry the baton for part of the US, and so did I. Anyway, so we're all kind of, as we know with motorcycling, it's just the beauty of it. We're all kind of connected by these little dots, and that's how we all find our community and come together. And so after that, I got invited to join this Women's International Motorcycle Association, because that relay was like kind of a one-off. And I was looking for a way to stay connected with women around the world, because I really like to travel, like obviously Snacks and Jamie do too. And so it was a way to try and stay connected with people, so that I don't have to take tours. I can fly into a country and have a contact, or have someone that I can ask questions of. And, like if I want to fly into Vietnam and rent a motorcycle and go tour the country or someplace else, then I can ask questions. So it's really cool to be part of this community with Snacks and Jamie and all the other women that are part of it.
Wow. Let me just do this. Man, on this show, if I give you a Dom DeMarco, man, that means you are doing special things. Well, I don't even know what to say. Good God Almighty. Excuse my ignorance. I had no clue. I had no clue about what you ladies just discussed with the two ladies' organizations and what you guys have done. I mean, taking a baton via motorcycle all the way all the way around the world. So how many? What is it? 100 and what is like 160 something countries?
There's almost 200. I think it's like 190 some countries.
About 190 something countries. Mm-hmm. So y'all covered over almost 200 countries.
No, we went to 78 countries. So not quite half even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy moly. That's still some kind of feat. Wow. Okay, so this was like a walk in the park for y'all. This was like going to Alabama, right?
Oh, it was like going to Alabama for them. For me, it was like, what the heck?
Wow. So say something like this, Michelle. Does it take a lot of time to plan this, or because your network you have, is it pretty? Not I'm gonna say easy, but is it pretty? It doesn't take a lot of work because of the network, or does it take a lot of work to plan this stuff?
No, I mean, it definitely still takes work, like a lot of work for like that relay. I mean, we spent a full year like that for sure. But like a trip like this, no, I mean, it definitely still takes work. It takes a lot of communication, but there's no question. It's a world of difference if you have that community to rely on, and you can call and ask questions and ask people, because like I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm like following in the footsteps of people that have gone before me. And so I'm really grateful for whatever information and stories and help people can, save me from learning some hard lessons. That's I'm all in, and I appreciate that. And then I like to pay it forward to other people too, if I can.
Okay. So Snacks, take us. What does it feel like? The first couple days in theater in Nepal, meeting up with all the ladies and getting everything together. What's the feeling? Take us. How would Sarge feel the first couple days in Nepal on a trip like this?
Well, I'd say Sarge is gonna feel tired,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We spent 16 hours on the flight from Dallas to Doha, and then another 16 hours in Doha, laying over before we even got to Nepal. So by the time we got to Nepal, we were pretty, I think I can speak for all of us, we were pretty tired. The good
Yeah.
thing is we got there a few days early. So we didn't have to jump on the bikes right away. We were able to get some rest, go on some tours, and then let our body get acclimated. Now, the get rest part, I don't know that we actually did that, because as soon as we got there and we saw the hustle and bustle, the very next thing we did, the next morning we were up at 5 a.m. so we can go fly around the Himalayas. So I don't know if we did a really good job of that, but we definitely knew we were in an amazing, or and not just speak for me. You guys have to speak for yourself, but for me, it was an amazing place. Right, all around you see the beauty. But one thing that I also mention is, I think if you look at most of the pictures and videos, it's really, it seems like it's cloudy, dusty, foggy. So the air wasn't really that good. There were a couple days where it cleared up after it rained, but that's what you notice. And then you notice all of the bikes all over the place. So I'm pretty sure as soon as on our ride from the airport to the guest house, I know my heart was beating, thinking that we were going to be riding through all of that traffic. Of course, I had no idea what we were actually going to be riding through.
Yeah.
What about you guys, Michelle, Jamie?
Yeah, I I would agree. I just remember being like, still, how long have I been home? I swear I'm still tired. I was like, that jet
I
lag, because
imagine.
we were 12 hours from my time zone, which meant I was exactly upside down. So like in the
Wow.
middle of the night, I was wide awake, and at lunchtime I was ready for bed. And yeah, I was worried about the traffic. Kathmandu as a city, because that's where we flew into, was Kathmandu.
Hmm.
And I'm, like Snack said, I'm super grateful that we spent a couple of days there, like in advance of it. Because when Jamie and I went to Pakistan a few years ago, we got off the plane at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and at 2 in the afternoon, we had to go pick up our motorcycles. And I was like,
Wow.
I'm not doing that again, because I was
Wow.
super tired. And you shouldn't be on a motorcycle in a foreign country. Like, we were riding on the left side of the road, and you go through roundabouts in clockwise or versus counterclockwise, everything's backwards. So I need a nap, and I need to make sure I'm rested and
Yeah.
I'm ready for the kind of crazy traffic that's going to happen. And Kathmandu was a lot. So yeah, I was sweating it.
So Kathmandu, is that the capital? No, it's not.
I think,
I
It
think it
used to be
is.
called
I think
something else
so.
a long time ago. Wasn't it
Oh,
called
maybe.
Bombay? It was called Bombay,
No,
the
I think
capital
you're
of
talking
Nepal.
India. In
Yeah.
Nepal, Kathmandu is
Oh, okay. I'm talking about India.
it's
I'm
easy to
sorry. I'm
get them
sorry.
mixed up because
Yeah,
they're
Yeah.
so close
close
and
together. Okay,
close
so
together, but
Kathmandu is
also
Nepal.
in
Okay,
culture.
okay, okay, okay. I'm sorry. What about you, Jamie? What about you?
I have to say, this trip, I was scared. I don't know what was up, but we landed and I was tired. Um, and I remember seeing that traffic and being super excited, but I was really nervous and excited. I mean, it's all those emotions all at once, and uh, I kind of bit it like immediately as soon as we got off the bikes within 20
Got that
seconds.
out of the way, right?
Oh my gosh. I just like, I don't even know how it happened, but somehow I got my big boot, motorcycle boot, stuck between the peg and the shifter, and I was jerking so hard on my leg. And we were in a tiny alleyway, and I was just down on the ground. Snacks has it on video.
Wow.
but but I think that was a culmination of just, being tired, being nervous, being super excited, and just not knowing what was coming.
And a
Even
foreign bike.
what's that?
A foreign bike as well.
Yeah, I'd never
Yeah,
been on a bike like that before. It felt different than the bike I ride.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that was one
I
thing that
noticed
I
that.
would do differently is I would try to spend a few minutes riding in circles or something. 'Cause-
Yeah, I'd imagine. So were little bikes like what 250s or 350s,
There were
411.
411s.
411s?
Yeah,
Okay,
Royal Enfield Himalayans, which
okay,
I love that Snacks did the Pan American Highway on her Pan American, and now she's done the
right.
Himalayans
Oh
on a
yeah.
Himalayan.
And a Himalayan,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What was the big difference between say, okay, so Jamie, what do you ride normally? And
I usually ride a Triumph Tiger.
okay,
So it's it's eight. Well, I had an 800. Now I have the 900 Rally now. Um,
okay,
it's a bigger bike physically, and yeah, it really. If I just had a few minutes, I think I would have calmed down and I would
hmm
have gotten to know where the controls were a little bit better for my feet. It was my feet that I was having troubles with.
yeah.
I was
But
like,
Was it a
why is
big
she
was it
laying
was it a
down?
big difference? Was it a big difference between your Triumph and say that bike was that what is that, Nepalese? I don't know how you pronounce people from Nepal. Is it
well,
I think
Nepalese?
they're
yeah,
from India.
it
Huh?
was a
So
British
the bike were
Indian bike,
Indian
right?
bikes from India.
Yep.
Okay. Was it a huge difference as the way the bike is set up and say gear ratios and that type of stuff? Huge difference.
I don't think
So
so, really. For
From your
me, it
Triumph?
seemed from my Triumph. I mean, the gear ratio is the same. Basically, it was the distant. The gear shift was a little. There was also a bolt right there in an odd position that stuck out. There was someone on our trip that ripped their pants. Do you remember
Mhm.
that part?
I don't.
But it was a bolt that stuck out, and somehow my boot just got caught, and I was trying to. I don't know what I was doing, but all of a sudden
Compared, I
I
would
was
say,
like, yeah,
I would say compared to my Pan America, it was like a toy.
Uh-huh.
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
But it was perfect for the conditions that we were riding in because we weren't on the
exactly.
highway
Yeah.
and we were never going to be. I think the top speed my tracker showed was 71 miles per hour, and
Is
that
that
might have been for a
kilometers?
second. Yeah, no, mine shows in miles. So top speed, on one of the pictures, it had 71.
Oh, that was on race day.
Yeah.
Well,
Race day.
so when we're looking at this is actually some of the better roads, I would imagine.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
That's real nice.
Yeah. This is like super nice highway road, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So the way we got our name, the 4-pack, on day one, we take off, and the leader, Tiffany, she's a great rider. She is amazing, and I'm sure she can show up most of the world on a bike. But she takes off, and there's other folks who are used to riding the way she's riding, and they're like gone, and she's like, keep up. So we're like flying through town, and remember, we were all nervous about all that traffic, so we're like flying through town, and I'm like, I watched a couple of folks almost get hit and go down. And I was like, we stopped for lunch, and I was like, I can't do this. I got a GPS. I'll figure out how to get to where we're going. So our whole crew, we were like, no, we're not going to race through town. So we slowed it down to make sure that we were getting the most out of the trip. Mostly get the most out of the trip, not be rude Americans, but also to be able to see.
Okay. So
Remember the
uh,
first thing you said, Snacks, was, I didn't come all the way over here to, like, be in a blur.
Yeah.
Nepal.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
You
I
got
like to stop and take a few photos. And so I was with Snacks. We stopped at a break and all kind of had the same kind of vibe going on, thinking we'd rather stop for a couple more photos. And like Snacks said, I watched a couple people, like we would be following a dump truck because there was a lot of construction and roads, like one lane each way. You're on the left side of the road, and we'd be following a dump truck, and you'd like lean out and you'd see another dump truck coming at you. And so then that truck would go, and then you'd lean out again, and there'd be like a bus and a yak and all this stuff. And people were like trying to scream in between big trucks and yaks. And I was like, this is too sketchy for me. So I'm going to dial it back. I'm going to stop for a photo, and I'm going to stop for a tea, and we will get there. I have a GPS. It's okay. And I want to enjoy the process, enjoy the ride as much as the destination.
I'd imagine that's pretty stressful. You know, you're dealing for everything from basically farm animals to buses to trucks, and then you're trying to remember you don't drive on the right side, you drive on the left side, and then you're doing it with a foreign bike.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of things to be remembering while you're going along. Wow.
I didn't know that we had to remember too much what side of the road we were riding on. We just had to dodge whatever's coming after us.
Because basically you following traffic. So
Yeah.
Okay. So was
You're
it very
following
much
traffic, but traffic's also coming at you
at
directly.
you? Yeah. Was it any night riding out there when you guys
No.
didn't fool around with the night?
No, and I would absolutely not.
Yeah.
Too many animals. I think it'd be really dangerous and dusty, and the road conditions had potholes, and you just wouldn't see all those obstacles. It'd be really dangerous.
So you'd be on like this picture or this video, you'd be rolling here at a pretty good clip, and then all of a sudden you're in gravel. Like, so if it was dark,
So
you
these
wouldn't
all are
have it.
trucks. These
Yeah,
all
you
the trucks
see-
and buses
you
that we're
see that.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. I saw one video, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna try to pull it up as you guys continue to talk. But there's one video that you guys made it to the top of a hill, and I could see all the fog and the mist. And I heard somebody say that was one gnarly ride. Yeah, it looked pretty rough. It looked really rough.
So there's a lot of construction going on over there, and there was a lot of like sand or dust in the air. And we were told too after like the second day that there were a couple of forest fires. In fact, we saw one as we were heading up into the lower Mustang area, and so there was just a lot of smoke, dust, dirt, pollution in the city of Kathmandu. The air quality around Kathmandu was terrible, but I did talk to some locals, and they said it isn't always like this. We have a really, really bad air quality right now. You can see it in the group photo too, just how hazy and kind of, blah that sky looks. And it was that way for the probably first like 3 days. It was pretty grim skies.
So over there, it's springtime like it is here, I guess, because everybody's in the northern hemisphere.
Yep, they
So
were, but
it's
they're close
springtime.
to the
So,
equator. Yep.
oh, okay. So a little bit warmer then, huh? Than maybe here. And then as you get into the upper elevations, a little bit cooler. Is that what we're talking about?
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So from say Kathmandu to were you guys actually in the Himalayas, or were you at the foothills of the Himalayas, so to speak? Because
The
you end up
foothills.
because you end up having to take a helicopter ride to get closer to the Himalayas. Am I correct?
Yeah, so we spent our
Yeah.
first day in Nepal. Excuse me. Our first full day in Nepal, we spent in a airplane going to see the mountains, the Himalayas, and then our last day after the ride, we jumped in a helicopter to get closer to Mount Everest.
Yeah, and there's a
Okay.
bunch of different mountain ranges over there. So we were in a few different ones. When we were in the lower Mustang Valley, we were in the Annapurna mountain range. So if some people have heard of Annapurna, we were actually in the Annapurna range, and the whole section of them is the Himalayans. So we were in the foothills and also in some parts of it because we went over a couple of ranges and through valleys to the next range. We were kind of in a few different spots.
Where is this that we're at right here on this picture?
Is that in Totopani?
Tadopani. Tadopani. Yeah. That's on our way up to the lower Mustang Valley.
Looks beautiful.
It was.
Looks
It
gorgeous.
was gorgeous.
Yeah.
The water was
I guess
cold.
there's not, and it doesn't look like there's a convenient way to get down there. It looks. Does it look? Is it rough getting down there?
Especially in
Actually,
boots.
this wasn't too bad. I mean, there were several spots that were a lot worse, but we did have to traverse some rocks, but this wasn't too bad. This was our first no, second night out, I think.
Yeah.
And the whole the place we stayed at in a hotel, it was like fabulous, and the river was right across from it. It had the flashing lights. It had the elevator with the mood music playing Kenny G.
Oh wow! Not Kenny G.
I was like, am I in Nepal? Am I still in Nepal? Every time we pushed the elevator, like first of all, it had an elevator.
Yeah,
It's not normal.
Yep.
So
I
we
like
were
me some
pretty
Kenny G.
spoiled. And
Yeah.
as soon as you press the button, the doors close. Kenny G's blasting. I'm like, are we in Nepal?
Wow. Speaking of Kenny G, uh, American stuff. How tough was the language barrier? Were a lot of English speaking people there, or you guys had to use the Babbel app and that type of stuff quite a bit?
The beauty of colonized country, which is a
Yeah,
misnomer right there, but
yeah, yeah,
it's they learn English in school. I
yeah,
think, don't you think that it's probably passed down from generations when they were an
yeah.
occupied country,
Yeah.
Was
like
it the
makes it
British that
easy
occupied?
for, because I was shocked that way in Pakistan and in
Yeah,
Nepal, it was
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I didn't expect people to be speaking so much English.
yeah,
It made it
Nepal,
super
I think
easy.
I think Nepal in particular, not Pakistan, but Nepal is they get so much of their living from tourism. So
okay,
Yeah.
they speak English, especially in Kathmandu, because it's kind of like the global common denominator.
right,
There's like German mountain climbers and, people from, France or from whatever, from all over South America, these mountain climbers and people come over to explore and do trekking and all of that. Which I think is an enormous like source of income and business for them. There's a lot of
yeah,
tourism there. And so English is the common denominator. But I think you're right. Because of colonization, English was there before Jamie, for sure.
Yeah, it's
awesome, awesome.
not that I'm at all like, colonization is not a good thing at
Yeah.
all, but I'll s- but yeah, it was it you could always find someone, even in really rural places, there was always someone who could figure out what you're saying. And then pantomime is amazing. a smile
Mm,
a smile just always seems to unlock all the words you don't really know.
yeah, yeah. And they were
Yeah.
pretty friendly over there. Am I? Yeah. So I
Very,
bet
Super.
that really
very
helps.
friendly.
Yeah,
Super friendly. Yeah.
yeah. Because my concern would be, say, you know, we got ladies that are traveling to international places, and we're traveling in very rural places. My concern would be, being able to deal with, say, possible injuries, or being able to deal with the locals, to be able to, some type of roadside emergency that might happen on the bike. I run out of gas. That would be a concern of mine, to make sure that I've got everything covered. Was that ever a time when you ladies were like, and I know this is kind of tough because you guys have traveled to so many different countries. After a while, you become Teflon Don at a lot of this stuff. But say a country like Nepal, okay, we're riding and we're going through these mountains and these valleys and stuff. Was there any concern to say, okay, for roadside emergencies, what do we do? Are we prepared? If something happens, say, like for instance in South America, what happened with Roy? Did we have plans put in place for those type of things?
So I'll just say two things. One, if you could put that picture back up of the whole group, I'll talk a little
Okay.
bit about
Okay.
how this helped. So you see, there's 12 women there, but there's also some guys who are mostly local. So you have
Okay.
a
Cool.
couple who are, and they take care of the bikes. So this is a tour. So with the
Nice.
tour, you have
Oh yeah.
The bikes come with the people who take care of the bikes. We had a bike that
Nice, very
traveled
nice. Yeah.
behind us with two guys on it. So if
Okay.
if the condition was too bad or something happened, one of the guys could take off, jump on the other bike, and then they could take whoever. We're fortunate we didn't
Very
really have
cool.
to do that, but they swapped out my brake pads at lunch. At
Yeah.
lunch,
Very cool.
I
Yeah.
sat down. I was like, "Hey, looks like my rear brake seems like it's not really catching." Came back, they'd already swapped them out. Jamie is
Nice.
slipping and sliding in mud, and I'm watching her, and I'm like, I'm not taking her line because she's just slipping and sliding. I'm not going to go down. But she had a flat tire in the mud. They'd snatched that
In the
tire off
rain.
in the rain, in the mud,
Nice. Yeah.
snatched it off and switched it out. So they took care of our bikes. They also took care of I'm going to say the accommodations, our extra luggage. That's the benefit of
Sweet.
doing a tour. So if you're not really
Tour pack. Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah.
touring or taking a ride, by yourself across into a new country, this is a great way to see it.
And
It
I would
sounds like
say
the
too,
best way to see it.
yeah.
I get to enjoy all of it. I got to worry about all the crap that goes along. All I need to do is bring my camera, my GoPro, and just have a time of my life. I think
That's
that's
right.
awesome. Awesome. Okay.
And
Okay.
Nepal
So,
is about the size of Arkansas. So
okay.
I think square miles, it's about the size of Arkansas. It's a very different shape. It's very mountainous. The roads are like,
Yeah.
you look at them on the map, it's like a bowl of spaghetti. They just noodle around.
Yeah.
It really puts the tail of the dragon to shame in terms of, and I hate to say that
I'd
because I love the tail
imagine.
of dragon, but
Yeah.
the 300 curves in 11 miles, this was like 300
Yeah.
curves in a mile. I mean, it
Yeah.
Because
was like,
I would imagine that there's not a lot of flat road in Nepal. Am I correct?
yeah,
Going
you're
up,
right.
going
Yeah.
down, going up.
Going up, going down.
Hey,
Okay.
Sarge, you
So,
mentioned earlier that hill that had the dust and all of that.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so we going up that hill, before we
Uh-huh.
went up the hill, we were watching cars go up and slide back down.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
people rushing to push the cars up the hill. That's how bad that hill was. And we all went up that hill. I remember being on my Himalayan, leaned all the way forward, trying to get all the momentum, saying, come on, you can make it, you can make it, you can make it. But that was just one example of what we were riding in.
Right.
Wow.
Every
I
day
can
was a new
imagine.
surprise.
Wow.
Those
I'm
bikes were
trying
like
to.
little tractors. They were
Yeah.
amazing.
It was like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Yes.
I think there was one day that we stopped at lunch and we'd ridden like 28 miles. And I remember thinking, how can I be this tired? We've been riding for like 3 or 4 hours and I've only ridden 28 miles. This is ridiculous. And I am so tired. And I ache, my back hurts, I'm full of dust all over in my face. And yeah, it was
Yeah,
an
and we
adventure.
all had dirt all over our faces every time we took our mask off.
Yeah,
I
Uh,
think we lost Sarge.
that's what I was wondering.
He left us. Um,
I hope he comes right back.
right. Like, who's going to ask us all the questions? Um,
Well, we can tell stories, snacks. We got lots of stories.
let's see. Let's see. So I think I don't know if it's a favorite. There's so many stories, but one of the things that I liked the most was when we went up to Cagbini.
Yeah.
Cagbini was the roads were literally not even one lane. They were like sidewalks once we got up into Cagbini. And the parking was the same. You had what do you call those? You had a
Stupa,
over-
like the
yeah, but we had the big thing there was we had Yak Donald's.
yeah.
Yak Donald's. Okay.
So-
I'm with it. I'm with it. Okay.
Yeah, so no beef, right?
Yeah.
Because cows are protected.
Okay.
So they have a place. It's a little guest house. It was pretty rugged, but they had Yak McDonald's, so that you could order a Happy Meal, yak burger, fries, and a drink.
Yeah.
I know
It
you had a
wasn't
yak
bad.
burger.
It was
How
not
was it?
bad.
I know you had a yak burger. How was the
Of
yak
course,
burger?
we all had a Happy Meal.
It had a big, thick yak burger with yak cheese on top.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was special.
that
Yeah.
sounds delicious.
It was really good. It tasted like kind of a charbroiled kind of a beef burger to me. But because, yeah, like Snacks was saying, they don't eat beef because 80% of the country is Hindu. And so,
Okay.
and then a large percentage are Buddhist after that. But
Yeah.
still, anyway, so yak burger at Yak Donald's
Does
that was
does
our
does
prize for day
does
3.
yak burger taste just like hamburger?
It did to me.
It
Did
was
you
pretty
guys?
good.
Okay. Or
I
maybe
ate all of
bison.
mine.
I ate all mine.
Well, Snacks had already told me she
Well,
eat
I don't
anything.
even.
When
I
she go to
won't
any
eat
country, she eat anything.
That is true, but I don't
Yeah.
eat. I don't eat McDonald's burgers though.
Yeah.
I don't
But I
either.
ate that
Yeah, I
yak
don't
burger.
either.
It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't know what to say. I got about 500 jokes off that. So I tell you what. Okay, so before we talk about the bridge, let's talk about, okay, so food. Obviously, we know, there's a lot of different things because in America, we got a different taste palette. So going over there, were there a lot of foods you were like, what the hell? Or you guys were saying, you know what? I'm gonna hold my nose and I'm gonna try anything.
I'll
I
let
like
you guys talk about it.
I like Indian
Yeah.
food. So there was a lot of Indian food, like a lot of
Yeah.
curry.
Curry,
But
yeah.
yeah, and I love
Masala.
that. But 2 weeks or 3 weeks on end, my tummy is like, no,
That's what I
you
was
need a
thinking, man. Just
you
on
need
the
a
stomach.
PB and J
Just
sandwich or a
yeah.
milkshake or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, or a salad. And when
Mhm.
I'm traveling in other countries, I don't always trust water, like
Mhm.
contaminants in water, and so I worry about washed vegetables or having like any. I won't drink tap water. I don't use the tap water to brush my teeth, any of that. So I'm really leery of having salads or fresh vegetables or fruits. So I miss that, especially when I travel. But no, we had good food. I mean, kind of standard breakfast ish. I mean, you could have eggs or omelets and toast, and then lunch was oftentimes like some sort of curry option or things like that, and kind of the same for dinner. But I mean, I think we had pretty good food.
I thought the food was good, and we were like eating. Well, I'm going to speak for me. Safe.
Mhm.
So breakfast was pretty typical, like the omelets. But
Yeah.
like I don't know how many days I had butter tiki masala,
Mm.
and by the end of the trip, I was having like food that might have chicken in it, but by the end of the trip, I stopped eating that all meat because
Mhm.
I didn't want to. I felt lucky so far,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to to get sick. But Jamie, you had a special circumstance.
What are you talking about?
Food.
Oh,
Jamie,
Like, what
like,
do you
okay, now what we're gonna be talking about now?
what do you eat?
but what I eat?
Yeah.
Are you talking about me being gluten free or
How
diabetic?
difficult was it for you to eat?
It was. I was phenomenally hungry on this trip. I ate more on this trip than I've ever eaten. I was sure.
Wow.
Usually I lose weight, and I think
Yeah.
I stayed the same even with all the riding. Um, are you referring to like I stay on a pretty strict diet because I'm diabetic and I'm on an insulin pump. Um, and I have a couple weird things that are like I try not to eat as much gluten, but I didn't have a problem there at all. I don't know what it is. I think it's only in the US we just have GMOs in some of the food, especially like wheat. Um, so I've avoided some noodles. If it was rice noodles, I eat. But um, yeah, I thought it was great. Good food, lots of it. I love the yak.
Okay.
That was I
Then
had
hey, what
yak.
about like Yak McNuggets? Was it Yak McNuggets too?
No, we didn't.
Did they even have?
Well, honestly, I don't know. We all just ordered yak, a
Yeah.
happy
Happy
meal.
yak.
A Yak Happy Meal. Oh, that's funny as heck.
One
It might have
one
been
thing
an unhappy yak when it became our meal, but
Yeah.
one thing we had all the time. Like I think almost every single day we had the chai tea. What's it called?
Masala.
Mala.
masala.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is very common.
So masala is like mixed spice tea. Chai means tea in Indian, and so it was like a spicy like chai tea, and they put
Right.
milk in it. I was actually thinking of it, and I'm sorry to interrupt Snacks,
No,
but
no,
I was
you're right
thinking a
on.
minute ago they don't do pasteurized milk like we do in the States, and so we stopped at
Right.
a couple like roadside cafes. We'd be stopping for gas or just pull over and check the map or just take a break, and they would have a great big cauldron with a stick like boiling this great big pot of milk. And that was how, so the milk came in raw, like everywhere. And then whatever cafe would boil their own milk in house to kill any bacteria or germs or anything in it. I watched them boiling milk a few times to go into our chai, which kind of made me nervous, but I don't think I ever had any problems with it. I liked the chai.
And it was,
I wonder if
and
that's
they
I
were
wonder if
doing
that's
it on the.
healthier anyway. I
What
wonder if
was
that's
that?
healthier anyway.
I don't know,
Boiling the
maybe.
milk like that. Yeah. I never looked into that.
I didn't get sick. None of us got sick from it, and we had it every
Yeah.
single day, even though they were doing the milk on the side of the road, which
Yeah.
With a
wasn't
Yeah.
stick.
with the stick.
Man.
And yeah, yeah. But
Man, I would
just
have had a
pray over
hard
it.
time. I would have had a hard time.
You
I
just pray
could see
over it.
myself bringing a lot of
Yep.
MREs on a trip like this.
Yes.
Wow.
I think someone asked about malaria pills. I
Yeah, I was
didn't
just
take
getting ready to
any
get to that.
malaria pills.
No malaria pills. Okay.
No, but
Is
I
it-
checked with my travel doctor before I went because I was a little bit concerned about it. And that's what I was going to say too, is because it's closer to the equator, it's within the tropics. And so
Yeah.
a lot of places are susceptible to malaria. But I checked and they didn't think that we were going into any kind of a zone. I don't know if it was the time of the year because it was when you're in the tropics, they don't usually have so much like spring and seasons like spring, fall, summer. They have rainy season and dry season. And when we were there was the dry season. So my doctor said, nope, you don't need them.
And how was the weather? Was the weather relatively, mild, wasn't hot, wasn't cold? Was that kind of like it?
It was warm. It was warm, but when you put all your
Okay.
gear on in the lower levels, then it becomes hot.
Yeah.
But when we got in the elevation, then it cooled down for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to get to the good part because we can't keep y'all all night. D-Bell said I could do the roads, but I don't know about that bridge.
You could do the bridge, maybe not on that road glide though.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Make this make sense to me. you know, I'm seeing you guys go across the bridge, and then I'm seeing people walking one way, and you're trying to ride a motorcycle. So now, if we look at this thing, so I see the extensions, and that's actually probably to give the bridge more stability. I'm assuming, okay,
Yeah.
for lack of better words. And then you've got a rail or gate or a rail. Let's say a rail. So how high is that rail? Is that rail 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet?
I'd say it's maybe a little over 3 feet. It might be like 40 inches, something like that. It's not 6 feet.
Man,
Between
hell to
3
the
and 4
no,
feet,
no,
right?
no.
Yeah, between 3 and 4. Because
So-
you'd stand at it and it'd be like waist high.
Because I don't see any safety net if you come over that rail. There's no safety net there.
There's
That is-
not a lot of safety nets anywhere in
Yeah.
Nepal.
So the bridge, is it really stable, or is there a lot of wobbling back and forth? Because it's got to give because of weather and wind and stuff like that. Am I correct? So it should give. It's built to give.
Right.
Yeah.
But
It gives a bit.
is there a damn weight limit on that thing? How many people did they have on it at one time, or do they have people on each side that kind of control the traffic?
There's supposed to be
said that-
only one motorcycle at
Yeah.
a time.
So we did 3 bridges. And the third bridge, I was like holding everybody up because I'm a big girl, and I was on my bike, and the sign at the entrance to the bridge said 1 bike at a time, and I was like, these people are tiny, and if it's
Yeah.
one person for them, I already count as a person and a half, so I'm not gonna go when there's another motorcycle on here. Look at Snacks, like such a pro. Look how long
Yeah.
that bridge is too, man,
Yeah.
going way into the distance.
Is there a speed limit on this thing, or you just, hey man, you cruise the way you cruise till you get
Yeah.
across?
Yeah.
I was,
But
I go,
actually,
I'm like, I stand up and just go, because if I think about it,
Yeah.
right.
then I'm gonna have problems. But if I just go, and then it's really easy.
So Michelle,
Yeah.
did you stand up, or you just say, you know, I'm gonna sit tight and I'm gonna keep
No.
5 kilometers an hour? How did you?
I was not standing up. No, I
Yeah.
sat down and I clenched and weaving and praying and no.
Because
I was
because
Rooting
you know
over
what,
for the
I
next
would
person to
think
pass.
I would think, and I hope low key is on this live feed tonight, because because there's only one person on this planet more scared. Well, I'm not really scared of heights. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not scared of heights, but it's certain things. I know my motorcycle skills is not that kind of skills. They're not that kind of skills. So I'm thinking, okay, say if somebody's coming the other way on the, okay, you guys say it, because I thought I saw on when Snacks went across, and I got another video that shows it. There was somebody coming your way. Am I correct? A pedestrian.
Oh,
So
yeah.
obviously, I don't want to hit a pedestrian. So I'm gonna get. So is the pedestrian's job to get around me, or my job to stop and let them come around?
I don't know if they have real rules about that, but I mean, the right thing to do is to stop and then let them pass. Some of them are nicer than others. Some are a little more irritated. I smile and apologize, and then they go around. But others, sometimes you get someone who's like, "I'm not going anywhere," and they force you
Yeah.
to lean your bike way over.
Right.
But
Why?
did you guys didn't have a problem with that, did you?
I just had one. There was a husband and wife coming down. And they were at the very far end of the bridge. So it was the steepest part, and it's metal, and it's kind of shiny metal and slippery. And I was already going up kind of a grade, and I did not want to stop because I was afraid my tires would slip. But they like stopped and waited for me to ride past them. And I was like, I don't want to ride past you and hit you with my peg, or, I mean, because
Yeah.
it's kind of narrow. So I kind of finally just stopped and just sat there, and they went around me, and then I was afraid I wouldn't get traction, but I did. I mean, it was fine after that. So yeah,
So if you fell against the gate is pretty strong.
yeah, it seemed
Okay.
like it.
So
I
you
didn't
could
want
actually.
to test it out,
So
but it looked like
yeah. So I'd imagine if the bike fell against the gate, to be able to have leverage to be able to pull yourself up or push yourself up off the gate, you probably could. Am I
I
correct?
think so. I hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. A couple people fell, you know,
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah, Rachel
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sandra, because especially for one of these, there was like, you kind of had to just, you kind of had to launch yourself onto it, because if you went slow, you were going to fall, because you
Yeah.
literally were going down a big step. And so
Yeah.
you had to gun it and go out. And I'm not sure I enjoyed the bridge, because for me, I knew that the only way I was going to get across was if I looked as far across as possible and fixated on a point, and it was me and that point, and I never
That would have been
looked to
me.
the side
Yeah, that would have been
or
me.
anything.
I
Yeah.
And
felt
it
bad.
worked.
I felt bad for Rachel on that one bridge because she had to be kind of the guinea pig, because
Hmm.
we couldn't watch. We didn't have the luxury of watching somebody else go off. And
Right.
it was like 3 big stair steps, very square edges of concrete. And when you go off the first one, like your rear tire's still up, but like you're almost bashing the engine on the point of the next corner. And so you have to gas it just enough, or
Yeah.
you
Right.
catch yourself up. But we didn't have the luxury, or she didn't, because she's a very skilled rider, very
Right.
talented. And it just happened to be this weird entrance into the bridge. And so I was behind her, and thankfully had the luxury of learning from her lesson, which I hated for her. But then I was terrified when I went, because I knew I had to gas it to get off that set of steps. But yeah,
So were
it
there
was,
multiple bridges that you guys had to cross?
3.
3.
3.
And they
And
all
then
had
here's
their
and,
own personalities.
and then here's the cool part. You got to cross those three going back.
No, actually, we didn't.
Okay.
No,
They
so
were one way.
we
Yeah.
did the first bridge, and I thought, oh, this was awesome. I'm not afraid of heights, but I don't need to do any more of these. I was like,
Yeah.
And
this is
there's
cool.
number 2.
I'll skip the other 2. And they were like, no, that's not how it works. You have to do all 3 to get back to the highway. And I was like, no, I just want to do the one. I'm out.
So
And
so
I
the
couldn't do
highest bridge, what would you guys say the height? 2,000, you know,
One of them
1,000.
was 1,000 feet down.
Yeah.
I know, but I didn't look. So
I didn't
Yeah,
look.
because
Yeah, I only looked
a
forward.
wow is enough to have a heart attack on the way going down.
I stopped reading the signs. I
Yeah.
didn't want to know.
Yeah, classic. So Snacks, let's do this because, of course, I could have you guys on all night. This has been a pleasure. And for everybody that's out there that's viewing today, please reach up, hit a like button, man. These women are giving us an experience of a lifetime, and I appreciate them because they could be doing anything on a Sunday night, but they're spending time with us, sharing this epic ride through Nepal, man. So let's do this. Last segment, ladies, let's talk about experiences, takeaways, things that you would like us to know about this particular trip. Maybe even the relationship, that you guys have even made stronger since this trip. So I'll let y'all go. I'm getting out of the way. I'm gonna stand back and I'm gonna just watch and listen.
I think I can go ahead and start. I'll say this was my first organized ride, or adventure ride, I should say, and I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. I was very happy to go with people that I knew and trusted, so that made the experience way better up front as I was planning for it, as well as while we were actually in doing the activity. But I think what I learned is that I'm a lot more confident in my off-roading skills because I took the off-road training, and I only go off-road if I have to. So very rarely do I find that I have to go off-road. So we spent probably about 50% off-road in various, the sand, the mud, which I'd never really ridden in the mud before. Not just gravel, but like rocks with leaves and the rain. So it's all slippery. So I think personally for me, it gave me a lot of confidence, especially as I'm planning my next adventure. It gave me a lot more confidence in my own motorcycling skills. From a experience standpoint, one thing that I learned is I am a person who likes to, well, I don't know if I learned this. This is kind of me quintessentially is I like to stop and take pictures. I like to talk to people. I like to meet people. So when you're in a group, you're on a time frame with the other members. So you have to kind of make it what you want it to be. Hence the 4 of us. But that's not my style of riding is stopping and slowing down. Meeting people and sharing experiences with other ladies has been amazing. We had a few people from Australia, a few people from Europe, and then I think 6 Americans. So a good mix-up of skills, a good mix-up of energy. So I enjoyed that. I think I'm more of a go spend my one-way time. But would I do this again? Absolutely. I would do another trip like this. I think I would. Yeah, I would do a trip like this, and I would encourage anyone else who was thinking about going somewhere, but they're kind of scared to do it. I would encourage them to take a tour because a tour is the way you'll know. The thing that I would say is to watch and make sure of the riding conditions. If you're not comfortable riding off-road, then you really need to know how much of that road is off-road because most of the other countries aren't 100% highway. And most of the time when you're doing a tour, you're not going to be on the highway. So
If you don't mind me interrupting for one quick second, I got a question for you. I think that makes that's big time. I remember when you took the course. I want to say in California to get ready for South America. Am I correct? The off road course that you did. Say, and I know all you ladies are very experienced with riding off road and those type of things. So, for a rider that, let's be honest, a lot of us, especially in the Iron Elite family, we Harley Davidson road glides, ultra glides, street glides, those type of things. For us that would one day want to get into this off road riding, the enduro type riding, what are your suggestions for us as far as to go get training to be able to do it? Because you don't want to do that for the first time
no,
in a foreign
do
country. I
not.
don't think that's a very wise thing to do. What would be your
Yeah,
suggestion?
I would absolutely say go get trained. And it's just good, period. Even if you don't think you're going to be an avid off-road rider, having off-road skills, especially if you're trying to explore more, makes sense. So that's what I would say is just go get off-road training. If you're looking for suggestions on training classes, we can, just hit me up, hit any of us up, and I'm sure we can guide you in some all women motorcycle classes as well as mixed motorcycle classes. But the off-road motorcycle training was invaluable. I do also have to say, though, some of that I didn't learn on off-road, like the mud and some of the slippery situations and the sand, or the soft sand, I should say. And I think there's an official name for it. But some of that was just natural instincts from riding dirt bikes as a kid. So no formal training. That is just like, oh shoot, I know I need to move my body. But the number one answer is go get training.
I would agree. I think training,
Very cool.
off-road training or any kind of training, actually, it's surprising how much it applies to even on-road riding.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you can counterbalance and shift your weight, and you look at obstacles and the way that you kind of power through things. I'm a believer in training, because I also know training and experience is also perishable. Over time, I forget stuff and I need to go back and retrain. And I live in a part of the country where I have a lot of snow, and I'm not on the bike for 6 months of the year. So I feel like I'm starting from scratch every spring, getting my bike out of the garage. And so I really am a believer in training. And so snacks, yeah, I fully support that. I would say that the kind of off-road riding that I do I don't do enduro. I don't do motocross. I'm not skilled like that. I am just wanting to be able to go up a gravel road, even a rocky road. It can be kind of technical, but like, I mean, I might go slow and might putter along, and I mean, I'm not winning any trophies. I'm not doing enduro racing or anything. I want to get there safely. And so I want to have the skills that allow me to go see places and enjoy myself and do that safely.
Which is exactly why I took the off-road class,
Yep.
because I want to go play in the dirt and the mud and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
want to see stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, for us guys are getting a little older. I don't I'll get off road, but I ain't getting too off road. Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's exciting. It's good stuff. I do concur with you, ladies. Training, if you don't use it, you will lose it. You will lose it. You have to continue to train on these motorcycles, big time. I'm sorry, Snacks. Anything else? Anything else before we allow you guys to get back to your families tonight? Anything you want to leave us with?
I would say, Jamie and Michelle, what are your highlights of the trip?
For me, no question. Always, wherever I go, whatever I do, the best part of it is the people. So getting to spend time with the 4-pack. I mean, it was lovely to get to know the other people and spend time with them, and even our guides who were from India and from Nepal. We had a guy, one of our guides, his last name is actually Sherpa. So I'm like, that's really cool.
Man, shout out to the Sherpa.
Exactly. Always.
Right
I just
on.
have to say the time with all of you. I mean, that's what I took away, is I would ride with the 4-pack anytime, anywhere. And I loved every minute of it. And all the rest of it, I think you've covered snacks perfectly.
Awesome.
Jamie?
Definitely riding with you guys. I really like, for me, I like meeting the kids, meeting the people, playing soccer with the kids in the village. Uh, just those kind of interactions are, and I come from I, I taught at a tribal college, and so I have an interest. So just the name Sherpa is a tribe, and so their whatever their first names are, and then I was talking to some of those young girls that when we gave them the gloves, uh, we brought gloves for some young women motorcyclists there from the US. This is just a higher quality than what they can get there. And so they were explaining they were from 3 different tribes. And so whatever tribe they're from is is their last name. So Sherpa is their tribe. So for me, anytime I can like just have an exchange of culture or see schools or just that kind of thing, that's amazing. And those mountains were, well, it's kind of funny. We thought we were looking at, we thought we were looking at Everest, but we weren't. We were looking at the wrong mountain, but I was having a total spiritual moment. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh,
That's all
I'm
that
looking
matters.
And that's all that matters,
That's
baby.
all that matters. It doesn't what as
The
long as you like.
helicopter dropped
Yeah,
us off and
as
said,
long
"Go
as you,
see Everest," and we were like, "Oh my God, it's beautiful!"
I'm just having such a beautiful moment. But really that happened every day. There was some moment where I was just looking at some incredible view or, like a river or just whatever, and even the yaks. I, it was all of that. But I love these women. I trust these women. I've now ridden with snacks. um because before we just accosted each other in a gas station. But Michelle, I've ridden with quite a bit, and I trust them with my life, but also with the kind of people they are in the world. And I like to move through the world, as I can't think of the right word, maybe gracefully as possible. Just I don't want to occupy space. I want to, you know, be respectful. And I feel that this we were able to create that on this tour. And getting to know the guys, that was really, because like I said, my friend Eric is he's connected to the guys who provided, the motorcycles, um, the mechanics, and also were local guides. And I'd been hearing stories about them for quite a while, for 2 or 3 years. So it was great to just get to know them and hear about their families and their lives. And yeah, so all of that's good. And the riding scared me this trip. Maybe I'm getting older.
hey,
Um, yeah,
you don't heal so fast nowadays.
exactly.
You don't want to take a fall.
And I pretty much, I had 2 parking lot drops and uh, got my boots stuck. but, but yeah, it was all good. There was one thing I was going to say earlier that stuck in my mind on this trip the whole time. Right before we left, was it the night before or like the hour before? She says, if you hit a cow, it's 12 years in jail. That's it. Like you go to prison, no question asked. And it scared the bejesus out of me. So I was like, and the whole trip, I was like, don't hit a cow, don't hit a cow, don't hit a cow. You've got to come back to your kids. You've got,
Yeah,
my son's getting ready to graduate from high school.
yeah.
Don't hit a cow. I can't die in a prison in Nepal.
Over that damn cow, over that
Right.
yak. right. And ladies, it's been a pleasure. I'm gonna tell you, this has been a complete pleasure for me this evening. I thank you. I thank you so much. And let's do this real quick. Let's do this for the ladies. Man, fantastic show. You know, when before me and Snacks put this thing together, she like, okay, Sarge, what you want me to talk about? Anything. Anything. I just want to talk about anything. My goal for this show tonight was to inspire people. You know, ladies. I mean, men as well as ladies to do things to go out and be your very best. You don't have to be the best. Just do it, man. Just do it. If you can dream it, you can. Well, you ladies have proved it. You can achieve it. Just get around people that are positive and have energy, and they're going to help you out with all these doggone crazy things that you would like to do. So, ladies, what's next? What's next? Anything? Or are we going to cool our heels for a while?
Michelle, you have the rally?
I am planning a rally in Maine in September for this Women's International Motorcycle Association. We are hosting the international rally this year in Maine. So if anybody wants to take a look or get in touch with me, I'm happy to tell anybody about it. So women members, but they can bring, husbands, partners, friends, whatever. And we've got women so far coming from almost 20 countries from around the world. So we're super excited to share our country, our great roads up in New England. And so I have my hands full with that. And then I'm going to plan a trip somewhere else, hopefully with these gals.
Awesome. So, Michelle, how do we get hold to you? What's your social media?
Mine is Sturgis Chick. So on Instagram, it's Sturgis Chick. On Facebook, I think it's The Sturgis Chick, just because I was born in Sturgis. So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Jamie, how do we get hold of you? Don't.
Through the Sturgis Chick.
Through Sturgis Chick or
I'll
Snacks.
connect you.
Okay.
Find me
okay.
on I-40 at a gas station.
Trailblazer 2025. How do we connect with you?
Instagram, ride with _snacks, or Facebook, Cynthia Snacks Franklin.
Okay. Hey, let everybody know before I let these ladies go tonight. There's an award that we came up with about a year and a half ago, and we wanted to be able to celebrate those riders that are doing huge things. Those riders that are doing things that the normal people don't do. And I'm just going to put this in layman's term. And we, after batting this around, me and the Titan organization, we came up with this award called the Trailblazer Award. And this is the first year in 2025 that we gave out this award. And we started writing the criteria and talking about what you got to do, and you got to inspire others. You got to be willing to teach others. You got to be able to share your experiences. It's a selfless award. It truly is a selfless. To get this award, you got to be giving of yourself. And when it was done, we said, okay, who are we going to give the first award to? It was Snacks unanimous. We didn't ever think about it, not one time, because of the just a beautiful person, just because of the things she does. She's so humble, but she's doing great things. She's always got a smile on her face. She'll always talk to people. She's always positive. I want to say we have an award at Adamak Harley-Davidson here in Jacksonville, Florida, in Bay Meadows. It's the first Trailblazer Award. And Cynthia Franklin, her plaque is sitting on that wall. The first one, and it will always be on that wall at the dealership. And I want to say thank you, Snacks. Let's do this. Thank you for being our trailblazer. And I'm going to tell you, after this trip, I don't know what else you're going to do. Ride to the moon? I don't know what else you can do. But anything else, Snacks, before I let y'all go? Anything?
No, the only thing I would say is, it's been a pleasure. I've grown, I've learned, and there wouldn't be other people that I would want to do this with. So thank you for taking me under your arms. Is it under your arms? in your arms,
Under your
whatever.
wings? Is it the wings?
Yeah, whatever it
Under your
is.
wings.
Thanks for helping me.
Thanks
Yeah,
for taking me by
I
the
don't want to be
hand.
all up under your arms, but thanks for helping me.
You don't want to be under my arms.
Sarge, thank you for having us on and always being
Yes.
supportive. And I
Thank
was
you.
while we were in
Love it.
Nepal, I was also making sure to rep the shirt too.
I
saw
took
it.
photos of it when I saw the logo. I was like, I know that shirt.
I saw it. She's Iron Elite. Well, ladies, happy Mother's Day.
Thank
you
you.
for giving us your time this night. Hopefully you have a
Thank you.
great evening. Rest for a little while before y'all ride to Mars. With that being said, ladies, keep it motorcycling and God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Bye,
God
guys.
bless. Good night. Good night. Hey, man, thank you for joining us this evening. Man, it was a blast on the Iron Elite Podcast Show. We were talking to the Nepal 4-pack, man. It was awesome. We were talking about their great ride through the mountains of Nepal. Man, that's Southeast Asia. Man, who does that, man? But these ladies did it, and they had a ball. They did it safe. They did it sound. They became closer. And oh, by the way, they met on the highways and byways here in the United States, man, and formed a friendship, a relationship that's tighter than glue, man. Relationships are truly made on the highway, you dig? I mean it, man. Great relationships are made on the highway. There's nothing better than motorcycling, man. Nothing better. Thank you guys for joining us, for giving us time tonight. I know you could have been anywhere doing anything on this Mother's Day evening, but you spent some time with us, learning, being inspired by these ladies, Michelle, Jamie, Cynthia. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you to the Bells for joining us tonight, man, hanging out with us, David and Sonny. Thank you, Nasty, for hanging out with us, man. I appreciate all the love that you give to the campaign, the I-10 to the end, the Iron Elite. Thank you, man. Highway Dre, you say you would love to do this trip. Go on, Dre. If you go, I'm going. Shout out to Breezy Does It. Shout out to K Solo, man, for spending a little time with us this evening. Thank you to everybody for hanging out with us. The Bell said, great show, rare air on the show tonight. Yes, ma'am. I'm telling you what, I couldn't even hold their boots. I'll tell you now. Hey, they doing things bigger and better. And I keep telling everybody, man, Iron Elite is where the greatest motorcycle minds and spirits meet, man. It truly is. Our Iron Elite family is the biggest and the best, and it continues to get bigger, man. Thank you again to my Iron Elite family. And oh, by the way, your boy got 2 riders coming in tonight. Oh, let me say this real quick. So tonight in Jacksonville, they'll be pushing out tomorrow morning, heading back to Gary, Indiana. It'll be Big Fella and Miss Dolph. They're part of our Iron Elite family. They're part of our Ride to Eat family. So keep them in your prayers as they continue on. They just finished the I-10 to the end last night around about 9 o'clock. So they're resting up, refitting. He's getting the bike checked out tomorrow, make sure the bike is good to go. And then they're on their way some thou wow, heading back to Gary, Indiana. That's Big Fella and Miss Daff. Also, tomorrow I got coming in from Louisiana, Gonzales, Louisiana. Matter of fact, my guys here, they should be here to start their I-10 to the end. Let me double check here. Let me double check. I got Derek Mills and Kevin Winfield coming from Gonzales, Louisiana. They're leaving tonight some midnight. Keep them in your prayers. They're on their way to Jacksonville, Florida. Hopefully we'll have them in Jacksonville sometime between 9:30, 10 o'clock a.m. to get those guys launched, heading to the West Coast. And for all my riders that are getting ready to rock and roll to start the I-10 to the end, please take the time to review the podcast interviews. Please take this time to review your ESP. Please take this time to interview your towing package. Please take this time to go over your AAA. Make sure that you have the RV package that covers motorcycles as well. Make sure you take a look at the weather. The weather has been horrendous, man, on the Panhandle, on the Gulf of Mexico here over the last few days. So please take time to prepare yourself mentally, physically, mechanically, equipment-wise, money-wise, route-wise, weather-wise, to make sure that you have the safest, most memorable trip going coast to coast. So with that being said, good night, everybody. And in the meantime, in between time, yo, keep it motorcycling, you dig?
Hey now, it's your girl Piper, the 2025 Iron Elite Female Titan, and you're now tuned in to Sarge on the Iron Elite Podcast Show, home of the Ground Pounders Reunion and the Coast to Coast Run, the social experiment, where motorcycling is not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. You dig? Now like, share, subscribe, and follow for all things motorcycling, and I'll see you on the sled.
Hey, it's your boy Low Key. Y'all know I roll with Big Sarge and the Iron Elite, home of the Titan Award and the Ground Pounder Family Reunion. Each one teach one, you dig?
Hey y'all, it's Snacks reminding you to tune in to the Iron Elite Podcast. You dig?
This is the Mileage Bully, the Moto Mob CEO, and your 2024 Titan. You are now listening to Sarge on the Iron Elite Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're not listening to the Iron Elite Podcast, what are you really doing? Because we are talking motorcycles over here. You dig?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Iron Elite Podcast with my man Big Sarge, where we always keep it motorcycle. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know what it is.
I ain't got too much to say, but y'all make sure y'all bring that same energy out here next week and the week after. We going to the Super Bowl and we gonna win that bitch.